Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alessia and today I'm going to be talking about 7 things I wish I knew before going into my first year at U of T in life sciences. So for those who might not know, I'm going into my 4th year at U of T St. George campus. I was admitted in first year for life sciences and I'm doing a double major in human biology and art history and a minor in immunology. My first year at U of T was very challenging. I would say it's probably the most challenging year of my life. I wanted to drop out, but here I am in 4th year, taking all my classes and actually excited to start school again. That's why I'm making this video for anyone who's going into first year. These are some of the things that I wish I knew before going into first year because it was so overwhelming and such a big transition that I feel no one really prepares you for. So I hope that you get something out of this video and that you feel more comfortable going into first year because classes start in less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments, like and subscribe. And I hope that you get something out of this video and you feel a little more comfortable in the next few weeks leading up to first day of classes. So this video is going to be more geared to life science students, but it is transferable throughout any program in the Faculty of Arts and Science. That's the faculty I'm in, so I'm not sure about the Faculty of Engineering, for example, because it is like different classes and different workloads and it's just like a different faculty, so I'm not 100% sure on those. So if you are in the Faculty of Arts and Science, this is a good video for you. Even better if you're in life sciences because that's the program that I was in first year. So the number one thing I wish I knew before even starting classes at U of T is not to even bother printing out the slideshows and trying to write everything out on physical paper. You need an iPad or do it on your computer. In high school, I didn't have an iPad. I didn't really bring my computer to school. I printed everything out and I would write the notes out, and everything I did was handwritten, summary notes, summary sheets, lecture notes. Everything was pen and paper and I would print everything out. And I tried doing that in first semester in life sciences at U of T and it was a complete waste of time. I ended up getting an iPad in second semester because the workload was just so heavy and the amount of notes and lecture slides that I was taking, there was no way that I could carry it all in my bag. So if you are considering getting an iPad but you don't know for sure and you want to try out the physical writing the notes out in first semester first, don't even do that. Just get the iPad if you're considering it. It's definitely worth it. I've used it all 4 years and I don't regret it at all. It's like the main thing I use every single day for school. I use it more than my laptop. And if you're not considering at all getting an iPad, it's not something that you're interested in, then just use your laptop and bring a notebook for those classes like chemistry where you need to write out the equations, or calculus where you need to write out like problems. So yeah, that's like the number one thing I wish I knew, was to not bother in the fall semester like attempting to write out the notes before getting an iPad. Just get the iPad. Writing them out is not going to work. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of paper. It's unorganized. The whole thing about it is just, I don't know anyone who actually prints out their notes and handwrites their notes during class. So yeah, that would be like my number one tip. Just get the iPad or use your laptop. So my second point is more of a tip because I did know this going into first year, but I wish I knew it a little earlier. I did have an idea of what I wanted to do in my undergrad, so I did know this. So this is more of a tip than what I wish I knew. But that would be that if you want to do research anytime throughout your undergrad at U of T, then you need to start looking in first year. So first semester, I didn't do any looking. Second semester, I did, and I applied for a few labs. I didn't get in first year. Then second year is when I started volunteering in a lab, and that was because I had applied already to a few labs in first year. So I knew what to expect. I knew what the applications were like. I knew who to email and what conferences and stuff to go to at U of T. And then finally in third year, I actually was able to be in a lab, have my own project, get paid for it. So I wouldn't have been able to do that in third year if I hadn't already started looking at how research works and the different labs at U of T and the application process and who to email in first year. So not necessarily in the fall semester, but definitely in the winter semester, start getting your feet wet in research if that's kind of what you want to do in your undergrad. So currently I'm in the lab. I did research there in the summer and I'm continuing in the fall and winter. So I'm in a lab. I've been in the lab since second year. So yeah, like I highly recommend getting into that and looking into research and labs at U of T early on in your like undergrad. So if not in fall semester first year, then definitely in winter semester. So the third thing that I wish I knew before starting classes at U of T is that it's extremely competitive, especially in life sciences. Nobody wants to share notes, nobody wants to study together, nobody wants to talk to you. Everyone is very focused, which is not a bad thing, but it's hard when, you know, you need to miss a class and it's not recorded and you need notes, or you want to study together. You don't really make friends in your classes. If you're going to make friends, it's usually in your labs, your tutorials, or like clubs and extracurriculars at U of T. I only actually have a few friends at U of T because I commute, I don't live on campus. I lived on campus in first year, but it was COVID, so I didn't really see a lot of people in my classes. Even in second year and third year, like it's really hard to make friends because it's just so competitive. And that really is kind of specific to life sciences. As I said before, I am also doing a major in art history, and it is not nearly as competitive in my art history classes that it is in my human biology and immunology classes. People in my art history classes, they talk to each other, they want to study, they share notes, we look at each other's papers and help each other out. Whereas human biology and immunology, I've only been in one registered study group, and it was with people that I was already friends with. So that's really like kind of something that's hard to deal with in first year, because in high school you're used to being with your friends and studying together and sharing notes and all of that. So that's definitely something that kind of surprised me going into first year. So yeah, don't be surprised when you're in Con Hall first year chemistry or bio and the person next to you probably won't really talk to you. So the fourth thing that I wish I knew was about U of T time. So I, going into first day of classes, did not know that classes started 10 minutes after the hour. So at U of T, there's U of T time. So if your class starts at 9 a.m., the professor doesn't start talking until 9:10 a.m. And this is really helpful because the campus is so big. In first year, I had like 3 back-to-back classes that were all at like different corners of the campus. So it was really hard to be on time and get there. And I was like kind of panicking the week before when I got the locations, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it to these classes. But there is U of T time, so that gives you a little leeway. So don't run to your classes if it's 8:59. You still have 10 minutes before it starts. So my fifth thing I wish I knew is kind of related to like the U of T time. It's kind of like a logistics thing with U of T, is that they have credit no credit. So you can credit no credit a class that you think you might be doing bad in, and it won't actually show up your mark. It will just say a credit or no credit if you passed or failed. So it's like a pass or fail, no mark goes to your GPA. And I wish I like knew that it was more of a good tool in my first year, because I still haven't credit no credited anything, and there is one class in my first year that I definitely should have credit no credited, but I thought it would like look bad. But now looking back, I definitely should have credit no credited because it brought my GPA down. It was an elective, I had like no interest in it. I heard it was a bird, but because I had no interest in it, it was not a bird for me. So yeah, if you think you're gonna do bad in a class, or you can't drop it anymore because it's too late in the semester and you're doing bad, just credit no credit it. You'll get the credit if you pass, and it probably won't look too bad if it's in first year. Obviously, if you credit no credit a class in fourth year and you're applying to grad school, it doesn't look that good. So just keep that in mind. And then also keep in mind that you can only credit no credit classes that don't count towards your major or minors. So I can't credit no credit an art history class that would count toward my art history major, and I can't credit no credit like an immunology class that would count towards my immunology minor, and same with the human biology major. So it really does have to be electives or classes that are related to your major and minor that aren't actually counting to like the program or degree requirements. So the sixth thing I wish I knew is that the workload is a lot. It's very different from high school, and I wasn't really prepared for it because of COVID. I went from like online classes, not taking any exams, to like full 5 courses, plus 2 labs, exams, midterms, lab reports. It was kind of a disaster. The workload was a huge jump. So just be prepared for that. There's really nothing you can do to prepare for it other than make sure you're organized and you're on top of your work and you're getting everything done as scheduled and not letting like lectures and build up and leaving things for the last minute, because it won't work. Don't leave things to the last minute. Do your lectures as they come out, or go to all your lectures, listen to the prof, go to the office hours. They will definitely help. So yeah, that's one of the main things I wish I knew, was like the workload is a lot, and just be prepared to be really overwhelmed, especially in first semester. Everyone else is overwhelmed. I also had like major imposter syndrome. I thought I was like so dumb and stupid because I couldn't like keep up with the workload, but everyone else is in the same boat. My roommates were in the same boat. Everyone was struggling, everyone was stressed out, everyone wanted to like quit. But just keep doing the work. Don't leave things for the last minute. Don't leave studying for the night before. So yeah, just know that there is a really big workload and that it is overwhelming. So be prepared for that and just stay on top of your work and you should be fine. And my 7th and final thing I wish I knew before starting U of T Life Sciences is that labs are like a whole other class. So most of the time you'll get a second Quarkus shell for the labs for chem and for bio. So you'll have 1 Quarkus shell for each class and then 2 extra ones for the 2 labs in life sciences. And the labs they have their own assignments, their own lab reports, their own readings, their own lab manual, like textbook kind of thing. So although the themes are similar to the lecture content, it's like its own class in itself, because it's 3 hours and on a separate day. There's a whole lab manual that you have to do pre-readings for, quizzes, and then lab reports for. And then also your TA is different than like your tutorial TA or your professor, obviously. So it is like a whole other class. So if you are in life sciences, you're kind of like taking 7 courses, which is not as bad as it seems because there's no other lecture content. But for the lab, there is content that you have to know for the exam. So like in my first year for both chems and both bios, the lab manual and the lab reports and like bi-weekly lab material was testable material on the midterms and exams. So just be aware of that. Don't think that the labs are just like mark boosters, because they're not. You'll probably do bad on a few quizzes, like pre-lab quizzes or lab reports. It definitely gets better. You don't have to take labs all 4 years. I haven't taken a lab course because I've been volunteering and working in a lab doing research, so I didn't really think it was necessary for me to take lab courses in 3rd and 4th year. So yeah, that is 7 things that I wish I knew before going into my first year at U of T in life sciences. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something about first year, and hopefully you're feeling a little better about starting classes. It's definitely overwhelming and scary. The transition from high school to university is definitely a big jump that nobody really prepares you for. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. But yeah, good luck everyone starting the new semester, and stay tuned for more videos.